the network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is AVWeek, episode 182, recorded Thursday, February 12th, 2015. Live from ISE 2015, Part 1.
Ready.
AVWeek.
Performing. Scan.
Week.
Online.
This is AVWeek. This is AV Week, your weekly wrap-up of audio-visual news and information. My name is Tim Albright. I'm your host. We are live from ISE 2015. How are you, kids? We're going to do this kind of like we do Infocom, kind of like we did CEDIA, where we bring a cavalcade of guests in through here and get their opinions about what they've seen this week. First up is my new best friend. And my not my crush. Good Lord, my wife would kill me. But, Kirsten Nelson.
What happens in Amsterdam stays.
Yes. Before I embarrass myself anymore. Kirsten Nelson, editor at large for SCN. How are you, ma'am?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. How's your week?
Oh, it's been glamorous. Yeah, I love this show. It's my favorite show. So.
Yeah. All right. Also with us is Aviv Ron.
Hi.
Also my crush from Kramer. How are you, sir?
Yeah, excellent.
All right. And
a little tired at the end of the week.
Oh, I'm sure.
Perfect.
I'm sure. Yeah, we're recording this on Thursday, the last day of the show. And then my buddy, my pal, left side of my brain, George Tucker.
And you were about to say least, and in this company, I am the least, so I'm happy to be here.
Not the least.
I've
been
That's a compliment to the others. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Modesty.
Yes, he is. All right, so we are in Amsterdam, Integrated Systems Europe. We have not gotten, unless Ms. Kirsten has weaseled out the numbers from somebody.
Yeah, like I can strong arm anything.
You could strong arm anybody. Most likely the largest AV show in the history of the world.
It's huge.
It is huge. And my understanding is we're looking at between 55 and 65,000 attendees. That would break last year's record. So, Aviv, we'll start with you. You're the manufacturer here. You're the one who's probably been standing in roughly the same spot the entire week. How's it felt for you? Has it been busy? Has it been good?
It was incredible, really. I don't have enough words to describe. It was really busy and exciting and beautiful and very, very positive all around. So very, very happy with this show this year. Yeah.
What's one of the things, when you come to these shows, I mean, let's talk specifically about ISE. Who is it that you want to see? Are you looking for the traditional end user, the technology manager? Or are you looking for dealers and new dealers?
It's a best opportunity for various people in our company to meet the most relevant contacts for them. We have a lot of people that are in sales. They are spending a lot of time with their customers. Very often it's integrators and resellers and distributors in various countries, as well as end users, particularly big institutions that send the AV professionals, like from the education. So we spend a lot of time with them, really giving them an in-depth tour and explanation and discussion and brainstorming about what we should do, what we have, what's new, that kind of level. I have a function of business development as well in the company, so I look at some other technology that can be interesting for us, maybe to work with, and go to the market with a more complete solution. So that's very interesting for me as well. Yeah.
Kirsten, this is your first major trade show, I guess, since moving over to At Large.
Yeah, I guess so.
What's it been like for you? I'm not asking for what you've been doing this week, but
can we see your calendar?
Yes.
Is it still booked?
But did you do that? I mean, did you simply, these are kind of the things I want to see, and you didn't have necessarily the hard appointments?
Yeah, it's a good question because I actually did overbook my calendar like I always do, and at one point I stopped and I said, I'm still doing a lot for SCN, but I don't need to do the every half hour, every 15 minutes thing. So I also made sure I actually had a real lunch every day, which is actually my priority at all these shows. I have at least one lunch meeting. And but my pace has still been pretty up there. But I do choose who I'm going to see a little differently now, and it's kind of fun. And I get to indulge a little bit in prospects, like people that I want to cultivate new relationships with, because I think they might be relevant to what I'm doing next. Just in terms of there may be a more peripheral company that didn't quite fit into the commercial AV installation world the way I covered it before. But now they're maybe doing some of the more esoteric projects out there, and I can start to cultivate new leads that way. So.
Okay. And just to remind folks, what else are you doing in addition to SCN?
Oh yeah, so I'm SCN editor-at-large, and so that's still a big thing. But then I'm also launching an industry-based website called The Ledger. It's going to be readtheledger.com. And I'm still, actually, it's great to be at this show for that particular reason, because I'm kind of market researching while I'm here, talking to some pretty highfalutin people who are giving me ideas of what they would want to see. But they're also helping me shape what I actually want out of it myself. So once I know what I want out of it, I can make it the truly glorious thing it could be. So.
Mr. Tucker, you came over here with me, for whatever reason. And what have you seen this week that's either knocked your socks off or maybe surprised you?
It's so much. My mission here was not just to see the stuff that we know, but the oddball stuff, the little booths around us. There's lots of style. The U.S. market tends to be a lot of utilitarian stuff, and when we get design and style, it's not quite the same thing. Even the Crestron booth has nice wood paneling behind some of the monitors and stuff like that, or the touchscreens. Something else I've noticed this week, I just did a route around halls 9, 10, and 11. A lot of touchscreen manufacturers up in those places still, which shocked me, or monitors with overlays. There's also a lot of things like there was a company called Vitrium that does these stone and glass and handmade light switches.
Wow.
Little round buttons backlit with relays on the back, or just standard power, things like that. Today we did Beale Street. Mm-hmm. We did their booth, and they've got this amazing, I knew about it but didn't know about it, the Sonic Vortex. Blew our socks off. They have the thing hanging off of some string on a sign and put the bass full up, and the thing does not move. I mean, it pushes power out and rocks your socks, but doesn't move. We talked earlier on some of the week about the LT84 from Listen Technologies, which was really cool. Infrared transparent materials, so people can't put them on backwards or anything.
You can put them in your pocket too, and they still transmit.
Yep.
Yeah. Changing line of sight.
I was excited about the AMX panels. They have a mic mixer, which I thought was really cool.
That was interesting. And AMX, so AMX has an auto mixer, right? A mic mixer.
Oh, really?
Not Harman.
Yeah.
Right? That's
AMX by Harman.
Yeah, but it was according to Joe Andrulis, it was a product that was already in development before Harman bought them, and they just said, it's still a good thing. Let's keep moving.
It's a fit.
Yeah.
I also had a serious crush on the VI 3000 from Soundcraft. Oh, yes. This is like a post-production / recording console, LEDs, LCDs, knobs.
He's a former sound engineer, so.
Yeah.
I like me knobs.
Yeah. I guess
and there's so many other things, but I have a list.
I'm sure.
I could go on. I could take up the entire 2 hours.
Well, let's not.
Wow.
Aviv, from either from Kramer's standpoint or from your standpoint, what was your biggest home run or the biggest hit of the week?
Yeah, so we had, first of all, we introduced very significantly our whole solution approach this week, and that has been received very, very well, and very positively by all of the audiences I mentioned earlier. So there is the way the company evolved, and some people are still seeing products and glue and things of that nature, and the scope of the extent of our solution to all the particular verticals. We put a lot of emphasis on that this year, and that has been accepted very, very well. A lot of surprises by the width and depth of our solution. So that has been very good. The two other things that I would say is, first of all, our collaboration solution, VIA, which is its formal launch in Europe this year. We launched it at last Infocom globally, but the European launch this year is here at ISE, and we are featuring it now with iOS mirroring, and that has been accepted very, very positively with a lot of excitement.
And the iOS mirroring is true mirroring. You said it's not just scraping.
It's true
off
mirroring,
of the
and you can truly mirror 6 participants on one screen, and that's in addition to all the other true collaboration features we are offering on that. The other thing has been our control offering, and we are offering a platform we call K-Touch version 3, and that has been accepted very, very positively, because we show in all of these solutions how we actually do have full control that is unique in the sense it's all web, cloud-based, it's all software, it's very flexible to program and to set up and to configure, so it has a lot of advantages when it comes to how to set it up.
All right. I'm going to let you guys go and get in Paul and Mr. Neto here. Aviv, thank you so much.
Thank you.
George,
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm staying here. Oh.
Yeah, stay here. Because I want to ask you a question. You mentioned you saw Listen, obviously, because you saw the infrared stuff. What's maybe one or two things that you've seen here that people in the U.S. would be surprised at? The reason I'm asking is one of my goals, right, was to get stories from folks who produce in the European Union, manufacture here, market here, and then sell only here, right? And to find out from them, why? Why would they not do anything in the U.S.? And found some interesting stories. One manufacturer from Poland said that it was the tariffs, right? Taxes and tariffs.
Okay.
Shipping from over here into the U.S. would mark their products up entirely too much. So is there anything from that angle that you found that are Eurocentric?
Well, I think there's a lot. George mentioned style, and actually that's probably why I love this show more than any other show. It is by far the most stylish show. And I mean that in every sense. I mean, in the attendee, in the level of business that's being done here, it's much less about throwing a bunch of lame marketing hype at people and enticing with more of an aesthetic approach. So some of the stuff I've seen that's more Eurocentric would be, there's like loudspeakers here that are, I've seen ones that were like these pendant speakers that look like chandeliers. And I happened to walk by right as the guy was saying in like a kind of strange accent, "It is a high wife acceptance factor." And I'm like, oh God. But I mean, they were pretty, and I'm not, I guess I could have been like, yeah. But I guess there's all these cool other speakers here too that one of my friends is actually helping to bring international distribution to, actually. There are these glass speakers that are really rad. Just gorgeous stuff that, Americans would be like, oh no, it's not black and it's not ugly. So I think that's what's cool, but oh no, we've got to go. No, the alarm system. But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I think there's stuff that there's like the really advanced way of thinking here too that's about aesthetics. My friends at Seventh Sense Design are always doing like these incredibly high-end projects. And at their booth, they're talking about some pretty...
Sorry, I had to throw something at Mr. Neto to get his attention. I messed Kirsten up.
It was very much like watching a seal or something. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Although they're always doing really cool stuff, and when I go to their booth, I feel like I'm in the future.
Yeah.
It's pretty rad.
All right. Also with us, we have Paul Ziele from AMX. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I am well. And also Chris Neto, AV Help Desk and
AVNation. How's it going?
Good.
I've been living with you, so
I know,
this
but
is nothing new.
I told you that I wanted you in
intimacy.
And yes, intimacy indeed. We have a 2-story B&B in about 3 minutes from here, so it's very nice. AMX by Harman. The Harman booth.
Yes.
The Harman compound, as it were. You guys were busy this week, weren't you?
Very busy, in a lot of different ways. Both, this is the most products we've ever introduced at ISE, as well as we're busy internally because in a lot of cases, this is the first time a lot of our product management folks from the various companies are meeting each other. So there's a lot of, we need this, can I borrow a couple of audio processor, going on in looking at filling out our various use cases. So we're spending a lot of time saying, that's a great product. We need it to do this and put into our line to fill out holes in various areas. So I was really impressed with how tightly the overall AMX product line and our weaknesses fit in with their strengths, and our strengths fit in with their weaknesses. So
one of the things that we talked about, Joe and Julius, about was the fact that this is the first time Harman, not AMX obviously, but Harman displayed their products with a solution in mind.
Yeah.
Right. So up until this point, it's been stacks of amps and this, that, and the other, and now they took kind of AMX's approach and said, well, here's a system, right? Here's a board and an amplifier and speakers.
Right, and part of that, I think, is the emphasis on sound reinforcement, stadiums where they're solution builders, and they're often modular. So touring sound companies have racks of amplifiers, and they'll put in as many as they need and come out. Whereas we're building an overall experience, and we're building a better meeting, and we're very concerned about things like workflows and value propositions and assisting the client in what they're doing, and they're starting to see that on the integration side.
Very cool. Mr. Neto, what have you seen that you've been impressed with this week?
I think the buzz for the show in general has been anybody who's doing any sort of projector mapping. In the past, it's always been big things that were being shown come to life. You now have small, tiny little devices being projector mapped and changed color and stuff. I mean, the Tesla car that the Panasonic booth is, it catches a lot of attention, a lot of wow.
Yeah, I was wondering how I was going to change the color on my Tesla in my garage, from minute to minute, and here they come with a solution set.
How are we going to go underneath an overpass? Well, here's the metric system, so we got to watch out about the feet clearance and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say projection mapping is drawing a lot of crowds. 4K is 4K. I mean, I don't want to continue beating on that. But, a particular product, I went to a super secret back room over at the Panasonic booth and took a look at a 12,000 lumen projector up against a 30,000 lumen projector.
That's probably secret, but, that's okay.
That was.
Oops. Nobody listens to this anyway.
No.
So it doesn't.
But it was a Panasonic and it was 12,000 lumens. We'll leave it at that. Up against another.
It was made of velvet.
What was the model number?
Stuffed with.
I have that.
Hay.
I have that information, but
what?
I can't. I'm trying to disguise that. I'm trying to keep it a secret.
You know what? Watch it be made of velvet, and then.
Yeah, exactly.
Very impressive.
Made of velvet NDA.
Yes. Yeah. Did you have to sign an NDA for that?
No.
Are you
Thank
sure
God.
about that?
Positive.
Oh my God! Look at that row of Japanese men with sniper rifles. Ah.
That
was only at Infocom a few years ago.
Yeah.
Those are lawyers.
That was pretty interesting stuff. We've been on a mission to go after a certain particular story with AVNation. We set some goals and some storylines that we were looking for at the show, things that would interest the AV community. I think we have found a couple of those products that we can write about and talk about, and I don't know if we want to divulge that, but I'll divulge the 12K projector. Well, one of the things that we came out here...
I didn't make you sign an NDA.
Not yet. One of the things that we came out here to do...
I didn't bring any secrets.
And the feedback that we got after our Kickstarter and the supporters and stuff, some of them were very vocal about, we want to know about products that we can't get. Mm-hmm. You would think that's kind of odd. No, it's not. They want to know why we can't get them. They want to know what's out there and why they wouldn't come back here. I just met with a great little speaker company called Ohm, based out of the UK. I'm a fan of British-built speakers, so that's neither here nor there. But they make a commercial product that is basically handmade. It started with the cabinet, and then they started going into building the speaker on their own. The gentleman, the owner, founder, builder of the speaker is here. He's in the booth. I'm like, man, you got to come over here and tell this story. They don't sell in the United States. They're not distributed in the United States. Not because they don't want to be there. It's just that the distribution company that they haven't been able to get the distribution done to go over there.
Yeah.
But it's a nice product, and I'm rooting for it. It's that the little company that could.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I actually do. So you guys know Pete Baker from RTI?
Mhm.
Yeah, who he left to start a venture. It's called the Big Corp, and it's Baker International Group, and that's his whole thing. He's going to be an international rep firm, and that's exactly what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
He's trying to link people who want to distribute in the U.S., and he wants to also vice versa, to go to branch out abroad. So I think he would love to hear that. I think that, and I think it's cool that there's someone out there that's going to try to help these companies.
Yeah.
Because, the infrastructure, red tape, all that stuff's terrifying. And if you have someone who's done it before on a very high level,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the cool thing that shows the maturity of this industry. It's not a dude in his garage building these things. Now there's these experts that can come in and advise on making these people branch out.
And just by virtue of where our booth is, we are on the, I guess, the slightly residential side.
You keep saying that, but we've got Atlona across the hall. We've got HD Base T. I mean, we're in a weird spot. I'll give you that.
We're definitely in that transitional zone.
Yeah.
You just go down a couple doors, and I'm going to see if I can bring them on. Those glass-blown speakers blow my mind. I think they're beautiful. I did not know that people can do that. We have a fellow glassblower or two here in at the show that
You guys
can look
should
at
do
that.
a remote, man.
It is. I mean, they're works of art with the speaker attached to
They
it,
are.
and you have the ones that are done in ceramic. I mean, these are things that are they?
And they sound good. That's the other thing. They're not just. I mean, and to Kirsten's point, big dumb Americans like big dumb black speakers.
Yeah.
And they have a high wife acceptance factor.
And they.
Yeah, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I mean, because that's the real barrier for the world today. Women.
Yeah.
Says the two single people. I'm just going to point that out there. Paul, I didn't know you blew glass.
Not much.
I know that was a non-sequitur.
Yeah.
Casually,
I took a glass blowing and neon class at MIT in college, and I just did a Groupon for a glass blowing thing, and I obviously mentioned it to Bill. Who
Wow.
Okay,
must have
let's
gone
back
through.
up here. First of all, you took a glass blowing
Neon.
class. Neon. In college, and that college was MIT.
Yeah,
You
actually,
were officially too smart to be on this program.
No, that was
Not
that,
true.
That was post.
OMG.
That was continuing ed after college.
Oh, after he went to Cambridge. He went
he went to Princeton.
He went to Princeton and then MIT.
I went to the University of Lowell, which is a
Massachusetts.
a top-notch, undervalued engineering school.
Okay.
But
And the alma mater of Jack Kerouac. No, I was kidding. Anyway, I don't think he went to college.
I was going to say, the fact that you knew that, if that was true.
Well, he's from Lowell.
He's from Lowell.
Yeah, and he's Lowell's voice, the voice of Lowell.
Yep.
Oh, unless if you go to Lowell, because everybody who knew him said he's
He's
that old drunk who used to be a good high school football player and then went bad.
Yep,
That's Lowell's
also
opinion
accurate.
All right.
See, we do have lives outside of just being
We
tech
do.
geeks.
We do.
That's
I was
not.
talking with a buddy of ours from Crestron. Found out he's an incredible cook, and all kinds of things about him. So. Yeah. Well, not that. He likes comics, and he went to a comic store here in Amsterdam, which apparently there's an interesting comic book store here in Amsterdam. So.
Don't say
Well,
that.
that's kind of in. That's kind of in
I've already told
demographic.
Mr.
But that's okay.
He's gonna. That's where he's gonna go.
That's where we're sending him at 5 o'clock. Yes.
That's it.
So, all right. Paul, I know you probably didn't get a whole lot of time. You were teaching classes, and then you were manning the booth.
Oh no, I don't man booths. I'm a prima donna.
You know what, brother? You were there this morning when I was trying to tape, and you kicked me out.
No, I was there to pick up people to go to a meeting.
Oh, okay. All right.
They put me to work if I go to the booth.
And that's not your style.
No, and well, in reality, although I am a product manager or I work for the product management group, I don't actually have a product, so I don't have anything to show or to man in the booth. What I do is I work with supporting technology. IT, underlying pieces, and bring the security, IT standards, and interoperability across the product lines. So at a show like this, I have an external reach. So at the show, I was talking about security processes, IT security processes for AV integrators, because we have a big problem with AV integrators not understanding how to have the conversation and move through the security processes so they're able to coexist on the IT networks. And then the rest of the time, I'm looking at partnerships, licensing technologies, underlying standards, and directions we're going to go for interoperability. And then meeting with consultants and that sort of thing. So I don't actually have a product to point at and see all those shiny rows of connectors.
So did you get to see anything else?
I saw lots of stuff.
What was your favorite thing?
Oh, I hate to say this because it probably shows how geeky I am.
You went to MIT. Let's start there.
That's not my only. It was continuing education at MIT.
Busting your chops.
Chemistry and physics classes. I actually took an acoustics class from Dr. Bose.
No.
Yeah, he was still a professor at MIT all the way up through the 80s.
Wow.
But the thing I was most excited about of almost anything is this new type of fiber. There's this company Clearline, and they're being wrapped in the U.S. by Structured Cable Products, among others. But essentially, they've got a new process that puts a flexible cladding outside the normal cladding. So it works as a standard fiber, but you can tie it in a tight knot. It's got 200 pounds worth of pull strength, and because of the flexible cladding on it, it essentially can be stripped with your fingernail and cleaned. It's completely field terminatable, and for a long time, I've been contending that it is easier to terminate fiber than properly terminate a Cat 6A or Cat 7 shielded cable. Not mention incredibly less expensive to test it. But there is a fear factor in the AV business to use fiber rather than twisted pair.
Well, it's typically more expensive on the components end, right? On the transmitters and receivers.
It's sometimes it's slightly more expensive, but it's not out of line more expensive. And if you're dealing with reliability or distance limitations, because Crestron was saying yesterday that they're recommending on their 4K limit on their 4K distance now on HD base T that they've lowered that number to 70 meters. So even with their HE cable, so having not put out a 4K product, I can't particularly comment on that, but we're running into distance factors.
So are you going to put out a 4K product?
I am sure we will.
When? Watch this.
I believe the announcement was Q3 because there was an announcement. Oh, do you have to say? No, of this year.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like of last year, and I missed it.
No. I believe they made an announcement about 4K Q3. We made decisions that were different than other people in the industry because our engineers did not feel that a 420 60 hertz 4K was an acceptable signal within our customer set.
Okay.
Apparently, the market thinks something else. So it will be interesting, and a lot of their timing is based on whether or not we also wanted to come out with an HDMI 2 product and go all the way and not have an intermediate step, because we feel that it's very likely that early adopters who are putting in HDMI 1.4 board sets are going to end up swapping those boards anyway for HDMI 2 board sets. And so we're sitting on that level of, is there a real application for 4K at this point? Are you better off future-proofing with 1.4 and updating? Or is 1.4 going to remain future-proof? And we felt too. And once again, we got absolutely sidelined by a marketing blitz that ran us over. Whether or not I personally believe 4K is necessary to watch a PowerPoint on a 65-inch monitor when you're 22 feet away from it, the market seems to be speaking. And inevitably the 4K monitor is going to come because that's just a factor of a manufacturing process. They want to build the biggest piece of glass with the most transistors they want on it, with the highest resolution, so they can cut it into as many different monitor sizes as they can. So at some point, they're going to very quickly have an 84-inch 8K piece of glass so they can cut a bunch of 1080p 21-inch monitors, and somebody's going to go, that's got 8,000 lines on it. Let's make it a monitor.
It's already
Is
there.
it because the market needs it? No, it's because the manufacturers can.
Yeah.
And apparently, because 8 is more than 4, someone will buy it.
Absolutely. All right, Paul Ziele, thank you so much. Kirsten
Thank you.
Nelson, do you have, as I let you go? Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, no.
I was going to say, do you have any final thoughts about ISE this year?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I always come away from it feeling pretty good about our industry because it's kind of I don't know. It seems like a lot of energy, isn't it? It's like this really is like the numbers at this show are real.
Yeah.
You know, it's a mob scene and people are really serious here. I really love that about it. You know, people actually want to learn things. You know, even though it's like a ridiculously fun city too. You know, it's just everything about it is such high caliber and. I think it is a sign that we're all becoming kind of scientists about this. I don't know. Instead of being locked away in a room, we're kind of seeing the big picture of how accessible, how to translate this and make it more accessible for the average human. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, ma'am, again.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah.
Kirsten Nelson, editor at large.
Take the elevator down.
Yeah,
and I'm
you
going
don't
to
have to
leave
do that.
Oh, okay.
All right. Paul, thank you so
All right,
much, sir.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Nice to see you.
All right. Up next is Uval. Is that right?
Yuval.
Almost got it. Yuval Kramer. Where's Mr. Neto? Mr. Neto's going to come on with us as well.
Oh.
If Mr. Yuval's last name sounds familiar, because his dad owns a company, Dr. Kramer.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. First thing, besides all that, you have been in charge, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, of Kramer's audio division.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's what they say. All right. Are you then?
In charge is a big word.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm responsible for all the noise. I'm doing noise for the last 31 years, so I'm just continuing my way of doing more noise.
Did you say 31 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that too little? Not 31 years in the company, 31 years on this planet Earth.
So did you start when you were 1?
To making noise?
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Just came out and started screaming.
Because I'm looking at you, brother, and you ain't... You're barely 30. I mean, you're sitting behind two 40-year-old dudes, so...
Yeah, that's what happens. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, that's what happens when you play so much music, It just turns time away.
All right.
Yeah.
It sort of made sense that he went into the audio side.
It does.
Yeah, I'm coming from the music world. Yeah, I'm a professional musician, so it just kind of adds up.
All right. Let's talk about Kramer, and then let's talk about your other interests as well, because you've got some interesting musical endeavors.
Of course.
From the Kramer side, you guys have got speakers now.
Yeah.
And not DSPs is my understanding, but you do have amplifiers and such.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that come about?
I've joined the company about 3 years ago, something like that. And the main reason I joined the company, my dad came to me and says, hey, instead of being a musician and barely making it through the month, because a musician is not a paying job, and work whatever you do, playing gigs for other guys, producing, I'm a professional musician and producing albums. He said, come work for me, do my things, and in the evening do your music and whatever you want to do for yourself. And after a long discussion, which is very hard to argue with him.
Typically is your dad.
Yeah, and then he became my boss.
Yeah.
Which is even harder to argue with him now. I joined the company as we have a brilliant R&D department. I don't think someone can doubt that. These guys can do magic. If they did the VIA products and all the new video cool stuff that they do. I just came to direct them towards the audio world, coming from the other side of the user, the professional user of audio products, amplifiers, speakers, microphones, cables, whatever comes from the ears, everything between 20 kilohertz and 20 hertz. Everything above 20 kilohertz is just pure noise for me. I have nothing to do with that. And I came from the user side to direct them to what's happening, what's in the market, what's needed, what's missing, how can you find the weak spots of the market. This is what my dad did in '81 in the video world. He came along and said, hey, they have PAL, they have NDSC, video is dirty, generation loss, all the stuff that started in Kramer. He found what's missing in the market and just puts his input into the video world. I'm supposed to do that in audio. and make the Kramer Pro AV.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, nothing. It's very easy. Yeah. we have a Kramer is a Pro AV company with a tiny A and a giant V. So my job is to make this A a little bigger.
All right.
Just push it up. So yeah, so we have a line of about 30 speakers, different models, and about 20 amplifiers, and a variety of cables, of course, support that. We are dealing with new technologies. We, of course, adopted Dante at Infocom. We are the 150 member, and I think in ISE they announced the 200 member.
Yeah.
And so we are in the Dante game as well. We are going into processing, like you mentioned about the DSP. It's
So
something
you are developing DSPs.
we are, we are checking. The market is going there. People get smart. Actually, you might think that people get smarter, but I think people get stupider because the device becomes smarter. You
Yes.
don't need to think anymore. Ask every guy that drives with a GPS. I cannot find my own living room without the GPS anymore. So the same thing, the device become more smarter. So I guess it would be a smart move to go with technology and try to be ahead. It's not news for anyone that we are a little late in the audio game. We are 34 years in the video game, and audio, we came with our amplifiers for about 10 years, but we are joining it slowly. So we are going to do that. We're going to do it correctly. If you come late, come with all guns blazing. Don't come slowly. And my other favorite Judas Priest song is All Guns Blazing. So
Well, let's get into that, because you just said Judas Priest, which is why I kind of grabbed Chris over here. You don't have to do this, but I would love for you to show the people watching on video the non suit and tie version.
The corporate version. That's this should be corporate Yuval.
And I'm not asking for anything illicit, but you're also in a rock band.
Yeah, this is what they say. Yeah,
That's what
that's the same thing. The same thing. I'm standing on stage and they say, "Yeah, this is my pajamas. My work clothes is usually a T-shirt with skulls on it that will suit the other."
There we go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
It goes up. It goes up.
Yeah, and
I'm
then
not sure.
do you have two sleeves?
No, just this one. This is
so a sleeve
under
on the
construction.
right.
Yeah.
A sleeve, ladies and gentlemen, is a tattoo that goes from the wrist up to the shoulder. So.
Yeah, that's not difficult to get.
So let me let's say understand this, but so you've always been, like you said, you've been making noise for 31 years.
Yes.
Is sound in general your passion, or is the music your passion, and the sound is just kind of how you're able to channel that on a 9 to 5 basis?
I think creativity is the thing for me.
Okay.
Just create something new. I just use music to take my abilities to the maximum. Like playing the guitar or something, an instrument. You work on your technique, and the technique is just a tool for you to use. You don't want the better your technique, the less obstacles you have in your way in order to get what you want to. So it's the same with knowledge. You go to the university to learn something. The idea is when you finish, you have the knowledge to create whatever you can with this knowledge. So for me, music was just my tool to create. Now I'm trying to create music and doing the audio side as well, the products, and coming up with new ideas and trying to bring a different perspective and trying to push the limits always. And more than once I already fell off the cliff, but there is a net there that will bounce me up again to try new things.
Yeah.
But at least you're getting to that edge and taking the fall.
Yeah,
a lot of people won't do that.
I'm jumping. Whenever, just give me I will jump off this table if you just give me a guitar to do that.
Just give him a guitar and he'll jump off the table.
Yeah. You need to live off the edges, I guess. If you don't dare, you won't get anywhere, for me. They say, I don't know who said it originally, they say Einstein. I don't believe internet quotes anymore, but they say that if you go in the path that we already went through, you get to places that we already got to. So
Blaze new paths.
You're trying to do other things.
Yeah, there's a quote from Abraham Lincoln online that says, "Don't believe you're everything you read on Facebook."
Yeah.
Yes.
Quoted, Abraham Lincoln. So. What is your life? What does Yuval's life look like in a year or two?
In a year or two?
Yeah.
Noisy.
Professionally, noisy.
It never is.
No, it will never stop. Just yesterday I had a show here, even here. I cannot not play. In 2 years from now, I guess we're just getting more and more deeper into those things. I still play music at the evenings. I'm coming home and I'm making noise and come in the office and make this noise louder with bigger speakers and bigger amplifiers. And we're looking for new things. And
Are you going to put a number 11 on your amps?
number 11 already been done.
Nah. So you want to do a 12?
That's a new direction. That's edgy. See?
Go backwards.
Or a negative one.
A negative
Oh,
one.
yeah.
It's so loud, we have to go into the negative zone. Exactly. That's awesome.
Well, Yuval, I appreciate you coming by.
Oh, what a pleasure.
Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm going to hop in with you, and we're going to...
Yeah.
We have somebody else. Yes, this is Chris Bundy.
This is Chris Bundy. Okay.
You know Chris.
Sure. I know Chris.
And he goes bearing
Chris.
gifts.
Good night.
Now, we've all known Chris
Yeah. How are
via
you, sir?
Twitter.
Via Twitter.
And
I've never
we're
met-
just proving here
I've never met in person, but
that this gentleman does exist
he
in
does
real
it.
life.
Mr. Bundy. What is? Oh my gosh! It's a selfie stick. Chris has been looking for this all week.
I got him, and I got two, and he showed me a
it's
quote
the
track.
core brands one even at that. Look at that.
Oh yeah, you know, if you're gonna brand something, if you're gonna market, you might
If you're
as well
gonna
put your
market,
brand
yeah.
on it.
How are you?
Now, if you would have
really
slapped
well.
the AV selfie hashtag on it, I'd have been
yeah.
all over
Don't,
that sooner.
don't give him any ideas.
There you go. See, AV tweeps meets AV selfie.
On a stick.
on a stick.
So how you guys doing today? I imagine that you guys have just had a slew of people telling you about how their stuff was so amazing as they came through, right?
Yeah.
I know. I've been looking at all this sorts of amazing stuff. But I do got to tell you, you just got the guy who's going to tell you about the most amazing stuff here. I mean,
Okay.
just saying.
That's okay. So, I guess the question would be,
What is it?
What is it?
And why is it amazing?
Oh my God, where do you even begin? Starting with
I was
obviously
gonna
with
say
core
you're
brands.
core brands, so you have a while.
Yeah. No, the thing about core brands is that
Can we get a bell for every product he names?
Yes.
Core brands.
And every time, let's do a drinking game.
Oh, well, that'd be fantastic. Now, the thing about core brands is that we're broad, right? We've got so many different brands, iconic brands that you guys may have been hearing about for, as long as I've been alive, I think. Zantac started in 1969, was it? Yeah. So, I mean, they've had a lot of history. Right now, what we've done is almost like a full refresh of those brands. So not only are they iconic, but they're iconic and up to date. They're iconic and having all the cool features and bells and whistles that we should be doing right now. So starting with the Elan brand, of course, this is the first time that anybody in the world, and I'm including the people in the United States, have ever seen the TP4. It's our newest touchscreen interface, the size of a keypad, but instead of just being a keypad, it is all the power of all our other interfaces. That's been really cool. Not available yet, but very soon you'll be seeing this.
Can you say that without an NDA?
Can I say? Oh, wait.
He
I
works
thought we
for
were
it.
under NDA.
Okay,
No, yeah,
we are.
okay.
And everybody out there, you guys are all now under NDA. Every one of you.
Chris signs NDAs all day long.
That's
he just
all I
doesn't
do.
pay attention
I just
to
don't know
it.
what
He
I'm
just
supposed to be
doesn't
talking
do it.
about. We just want to clear this legally.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, and I went over to see Chris. I walked by him like, I think Chris would be here, and I'm going to find the man behind the face.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
How many brands is there? Because I walked in, and you were on one, and it's a circle, and it's like a carousel of stuff. How many brands total is there?
Right now, let's see. We've got the Elan, we've got Niles, we've got Speakercraft, we've got Furman, we've got Panamax, we've got Blue Bolt, we've got Zantac. So that's the main ones. Now we have a couple of other ones that aren't so much popular here in the internationally. I would say here in Amsterdam, but I'm gonna say all over Europe because it's the 110 volt stuff only. But it's ever expanding.
Okay.
Right now we're focusing
There
a
we
little
go.
more.
You just hit the alarm button on Tim.
Okay, so explain that to me. There are certain, and I understand it's 110. It's 110 in the U.S. It's 220 here.
Yeah.
Different parts of Europe actually goes up to 7. So it's not
720p.
So thank you very much.
You're
There's a 700 some odd volt.
That's crazy.
Why it is? It is. Why can't? What's the difference? Is it just a totally different SKU and you don't want to mess with it?
No, I would love to say that it was just because of the power, but I mean, power at this point in age, we've really figured it out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're Furman.
Well, but here's the thing. Not just you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we came in here. All of this equipment that you see, I bought in the States. It's still working. After being here for 4 days.
Well,
so all of you guys have kind of figured out how to make the international thing work.
Well, for the most part. Now, there's a couple of other complications to that. One of the big things is ERP compliance, right? Making sure that your products draw less than a half a watt of power when they're on standby mode. In the U.S., we are not nearly at that level, right? We're working on ways that we can lower our energy footprint, bring it down, but I gotta say, Europe is on top of things. 1 watt is really hard. You cannot activate a network NIC in 1 watt. You have to go serial in those cases.
Yeah.
So it makes it a little tricky to make sure that the same product that was easy to slap out of the United States also will meet all the compliance standards across Europe. So that's one of the things we tackle. Now, that said, I think we tackle it pretty well. When we have an ultra matrix switch, a 16 by 16 input and output with 72 audio inputs and 52 audio outputs, that right there, that's really hard to make it so it just comes on with after a half a watt. But we do, because we're amazing. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't want to,
Holy.
There's other people out there, and I'm sure you're good too.
You know what?
You two belong together.
He comes with his own pyrotechnics.
He does.
Get the sparklers out.
Yeah,
That's
usually I thought I'd calm it down. This is, Europe is a little bit more reserved than we do the United States.
Are they?
Yeah. No.
So just a silly story, right? So we're our whole focus here, right? You follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the European experience, the European AV guys. Right? We want to know what it's like to be a woman in AV in Europe. It's not that they won't talk to us, because they're not. It's not a rude way. They're just very reserved. They don't want to be on camera. They don't,
That's that self-aggrandizing, self-promoting sort of way seems to be something that's very uniquely American.
Yeah.
Even I go into Canada and I don't see it's the same way. They're like, no. You go ahead and talk to them. I'll just. But you invented it. No.
You're good.
We've got our newest director of all of our product marketing, a gentleman who will hate that I'm saying this, by the name of Jan Konnen. He is fantastic. He is a brilliant man. Every time I talk to him, I go, I used to think I was smart. But he is just like that. He's like, no pictures, no nothing like that. You go talk to people. I'll just keep doing what I do.
Okay.
Wow.
You've been working the booth all day. I have a question.
All right.
Infocom, Cedia.
Yeah.
People come into your booth. How many people are in there pushing buttons, trying to figure it out, break it,
trying to break it?
Oh yeah, no.
You walk out of here with spotless equipment, I'm assuming. They won't go near it. They take the distance, and
it's interesting about that is I see a lot of people that they just go, oh, and I'm like, it's a touchscreen. We have these touchscreens that
and they won't
light up
touch it.
when you get close to them, and
they're an end user,
and their face gets close enough that it pops on, and they back up real quick, like, oh.
That's amazing.
You can.
Meanwhile, over in the States, it's.
Oh, yeah.
Can we get this to work? Yeah. Why is this not working? Because you tapped it about 50,000 times.
We've had people, I am not kidding you, we've had people in Cedia in the United States grab a screwdriver and start taking something off so they could see what the back of it looks like. And we're like, no.
At Infocom, I'm the guy who's behind the LED walls. I'm like, you know what, let me see this.
Let me see it.
I want to see it. It's a beautiful picture. It's awesome. It's got a little, all right, I've seen all that. It looks great. Can I see behind?
See, the one thing I know about Chris, too, is Chris, like me, he's excited by this stuff. When he sees a bunch of ports and inputs and outputs, he's like, all right, I want to see what's going on. So I can imagine that
I want to get into your back room. I don't want to be in the front seeing the front panels. I want to see how first of all, I want to see how neatly you guys are doing your wiring in the back. That's the first thing.
No.
And that can't.
Don't listen to him. Don't look behind the curtain. There is no wires behind the curtain.
You did not see that. That would be my Jedi mind trick. That's awesome. Well, for me, I've noticed that looking at just even the time that I'm sitting here looking at people going around, you're not getting that aggressiveness that comes out in the Americans. I would obviously scare some people at the booths when I come in. I'm like, you know what? Are these amps working? Like, is this thing on? To come in with that ball of energy to a European company that is not,
experienced.
They
haven't had the Chris experience, not the one-on-one.
I refer to Tom Berry from Verix as a Tasmanian devil. I mean, when I walk into the thing, I'm coming in spinning like a tornado to them. They're 100 miles an hour. I got 5 minutes to get in there, and I'm in a booth, and all I want to do is I'm here to see one product. Where is it?
Yeah.
In the United States, those guys are like, right here, take it, run with it, and here we go.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Bundy.
We'll
Nice
be
to meet
seeing
you in
guys
person.
soon.
He bought a bag
Always.
of goodies. We're going to be throwing stuff out. And
CBundy711 at CBundy711. I'll find you on Twitter.
He's real.
He's really
I do
He
exist.
is real.
I do exist. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right. This is the end of hour 1 of our ISE special. Go by the website if you would, please. AVNation.tv. AVNation.tv. You'll find this program and a host of others. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for listening. This has been AV Week.